Okay, today I am going to teach you guys how to play a couple place value games. All you need for this game, this first game, which is called Close to 100, you need a piece of paper so you can keep score. You need a deck of cards or number cards. You can make your own, or you can use a deck of cards that you have at home, and I'll leave those directions for you guys in the description for this. But if you're using a deck of cards like I am, you just need to make sure you take out all the tens, jacks, queens, and kings, because those would be 2-digit numbers, and we need single-digit numbers. So you're left with ace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And aces equal ones in this game. So this game is called Close to 100. And the object of the game is to get a really low score, which is different than a lot of other games where you want a high score. In this case, you want a low score. It's like golf. And on each round, what's going to happen is every player, in this case it's me and Rosie is lying down next to the table, so you can't really see her, but she's playing against me. Each player is going to have 6 cards, and your goal with those 6 cards is to make 3 2-digit numbers. And you're going to add up the sum of those 2-digit numbers, and you want your sum to be as close to 100 as you can. So I'll give you an example. So I'll give myself 6 cards, and I'm going to give Rosie 6 cards. Oops. Get these cool see-through cards. Ooh, so Rosie got a card that I'm going to talk about in just a second when we get to her. Okay, but let's look at my cards first. So I've got 2 6s, 2 4s, and 2 7s. Ooh, interesting hand that I've got here. Now, I want to make 3 2-digit numbers, and I'm going to be adding up those numbers to find the total. So I've got 3 add-ins that I'm going to be adding up, and I want my total, my sum, to be as close to 100 as I can. It can go a little bit over, it can be a little bit under, but I want it to be really close to 100. So looking at my cards, I have some high digits here. This is going to be tough. So I think what I want to do is I want to use my lower digits to put in my tens places. The way you can think about this is that you've got 3 spots for tens places and 3 spots for ones places. Now, because you want to be close to 100, you don't want your numbers to be crazy high. Like, I wouldn't want to use my 7s and my 6s in my tens places, all of them, because then I would end up with a bunch of high numbers added together, and that would be way more than 100. So what I'm going to do, and unfortunately I'm thinking my score is still going to be really high, is I'm going to use 46 and then 47, and then I'll have to do 67, and that's unfortunately what my 3 add-ins are going to be. I'm already realizing, like, oof, these are some really high numbers, so I'm going to be way over 100, but that's okay. Maybe I'll be able to make up for it another turn. So I've got 46 plus 47. Now, I know that 40 and 40 is 80, and 6 plus 7 is 13. So 80 plus 13 gives me 93. Ooh, I'm already really close to 100, and I still have to add my 67. So I have 93. 93 plus 7 is 100, and 100 plus 60 is 160. So, ooh, I have a really high sum. So notice on my recording sheet, my sum is 160. My distance from 100 is 60, because if I were to count on a number line to 100 from 160, I would be counting backwards 60 hops. So my distance from 100 is 60. Ooh, that's a bad turn for me. Now Rosie, I think she got a little luckier than I did in this turn. Let's see what she's got. So she has this card that doesn't have any number on it. That's one of the jokers from my deck, and that is a wild card. I can make that any number I want, or she can make it any number she wants. Now, she's got some really good cards here. She's got a 1, a 2, a 5, a 7, an 8, and a wild card. If I were Rosie, I think I would have one of my digits be 57, then she'll have another one be 28, And then I'm gonna because she's got this wild card, she can kind of wait until she knows the sum here before she decides what that digit is going to be. So she's got 57 plus 28. Now I know that 28 is pretty close to 30, so I'm going to use my compensation strategy and say I'm going to take 2 from here and give it to my 28. So it's 55 plus 30, and that would be 85. Now, if I'm Rosie here, she's got the option to get to exactly 100 because she's got a 1 here, and then she can make this whatever she wants. Now, if I'm at 85, 55 plus 30 is 85. So 57 plus 28 is 85. I know I want to get to 100, so I have a 10 here, a 1 in my tens place. That's 95, and so my ones place is going to be a 5. So this joker is representing a 5. So Rosie, lucky dog, she had a sum of exactly 100, and so her distance from 100 is 0. She's way ahead of me right now. I'm going to show you one more round, and then I'm going to show you how you would end the game. So Rosie won that round. We're going to get rid of all of our cards, and we're going to get 6 new ones each. Get Rosie's and mine. Okay, things are looking a little better for me this time around. I've got some lower digits. Okay, so I've got some good ones here. I'm going to do 26 plus 25 plus... Oops, sorry, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do 26 plus 26 plus 52. And I know that 25 and 25 is 50, so 26 plus 26 is 52. 52 plus 52 is 104. So I had a sum this round, I'm going to record it here, of 104. And my distance from 100 is much lower this time around. I have just 4. I'm 4 away from 100. So that's mine. I'll move those out of the way. Let's look at Rosie's. Oof, Rosie got dealt a little bit rougher of a hand this time around. So she's got a 5, an 8, a 9, a 3, a 7, and a 9. So she's going to want to use her 3 lowest cards as her tens places because a lot of her cards are pretty high. And then for the ones places, it doesn't really matter. So we've got 38, 79, 59. That's pretty rough. She's going to have a pretty high total. So we can use our compensation strategies again. We can say, let's take 1 from 38 and give it to 79 to make 80 and 37. 80 plus 37. So 80 plus 30 would be 110. Plus 7 more would be 117. And then she's still got 69. So I'm going to add 59. I'm going to add 60 and then take 1 away. So 117 plus 60 would be 177. Minus 1 would be 176. She has a pretty high sum. Her distance from 100 is 76 this time around. Now we would keep playing as many rounds as we want. I have 5 rounds on my paper, and then at the very end we would take all of these scores from our distance from 100 column and add them up, and whoever has the lower score is the winner. So if we had only played 2 rounds, I have 60 plus 4, so my total score would be 64, and Rosie had 0 plus 76, so her total score is 76. I beat Rosie by just a few points here, but who knows what would have happened if we had kept playing. So that's close to 100. I'm going to quickly show you 2 other little games you can play with cards that have to do with place value. So, again, you're just using your deck of cards with the tens, jacks, queens, and kings removed. And this one, you don't even need a piece of paper. It's kind of like war. You are going to be trying to get all of the cards. That's your goal. And for each turn, each player gets 4 cards. You're only going to be using 3 of them. You get to choose which one you discard. So you're trying to make a 3-digit number, and in this version of the game, we're going to play highest number. I want to make the greatest possible number I can. And so when I think about my place value knowledge, I know hundreds are worth the most, tens are worth a little bit more, and ones are worth the least. So when I think about what I want in my digit, in each place value, I know I want my highest value digit in my highest place value. So I'm going to put my 9 in my hundreds place. And I'm actually going to show you guys this on a piece of paper. Hundreds,
what's the price on that one?
Tens, ones. Okay.
Okay.
And if you are doing this at home, you can also create yourself a little chart like this to help organize your thoughts here. So I know I want my 9 in my hundreds place because 900s is worth a lot more, way more than 800s or 200s or 600s. So I'm going to put my 900s, my 8 in my tens place because that's worth more than 6 tens or 2 tens. I want to put 8 tens, and then I'm going to use my 6 in my ones place because 6 is greater than 2, and I'm going to discard my 2. Okay, so my number is 986. That's pretty good. Let's see if Rosie can do better than me. So I'm going to move her cards over here and use the same chart. That's mine. Put it over here. Okay, so she has a 7, a 3, a 9, and a 5. Now, she also wants to put her 9 in her hundreds place. Her next highest digit, she wants to go in her tens place because that's worth the next, or the next highest amount. Tens are worth more than ones, so you want 7 tens as opposed to 5 tens or 3 tens. So we've got 900s, 7 tens, and then she's got a 3 or a 5 left over for her ones. She's going to want to use her 5, and she'll discard her 3. So her highest possible number she can make is 975. Now, mine was 986. Let's compare them. My hundreds place is the same as Rosie's. We both have 900s. Now we move down to our tens place. We look at the tens place next because it's worth the next most. Our hundreds place was the same, so we move to tens. I have 8 tens. She has 7 tens. That means that my number is going to be higher, and it doesn't really matter what the ones place says because tens are worth more than ones. So if I have 8 tens and she has 7 tens, even if she had more ones than I did, which she doesn't, then I would still have the greater number. So I have 986 is greater than 975, so I get all the cards from that round, even the discarded cards. Okay. And so we would keep going. Again, we would deal out 4 cards to her, 4 cards to me, and we would kind of keep going till someone had all the cards. The other way you can play this game is you can do least number, so lowest number possible. So again, we get 4 cards. Jokers are still wild. You can make them whatever you want. They can't be 0. No zeros in this game. And so this time around, we're trying to play lowest possible number, and I have a 3, an ace, a 4, and an ace. And I know, remember, aces are ones. They are equal to 1. So I know that I want to put my 1 in my hundreds place because it's the lowest possible amount of hundreds. I want the least possible number. 100 is less than 300 or 400. I have another 1. I'm going to put that in my tens because 10 is less than 30 or 40. And then I'm left with my 3 and my 4. I'm going to use my 3 because 3 is less than 4. So I'm going to discard my 4. Rosie has a 2, a 3, a wild card, and a 3. She's also going to want to put her 1, she can make that into a 1, her wild card, into her hundreds. And then her next lowest number is a 2. She'll put that into her tens to make 20. And then she's got a 3. She can put that into her ones, and she'll discard her other 3. I have 113. She has 123. I have a lower number than she does because our hundreds place is the same, but 1 is less than 2, 10 is less than 20, so my number is 10 less than hers. So again, I would win all those cards, including the discard pile. Okay. So, sorry, I should say when the game ends, when the stack of cards is gone, and then you can count up how many cards you have that you've acquired during the game, and whoever has more cards is the winner. Okay, and so those are 2 or I guess 3 place value games. The directions are with the link, that are written out with the link, as well as some digit cards that you can print out and cut up. I hope you guys have fun playing these games.